Hi guys, because Easter's coming up, I thought it might be fun to do a STEM challenge where we make a couple baskets. So if you go to any hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot, the Bloomington Walmart also has these. They're just little paint samples and they're free. So just pick out a few that you like. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a basket with these, but first I want to see if you can figure it out. So pause the video right here if you want to try and figure it out by yourself. Okay, so hopefully you've tried to figure this out by yourself beforehand. I'm going to stack the cards like this, like an X, and I'm going to fold the pieces around each other. Now I'm going to take this card off, and this one's going to be like this. And I'm going to put the top flap in to the card, and then also repeat that with the bottom. Now I have this lovely looking square, and that is one piece of my basket. I'm going to do this again. Now you'll notice I have the color facing out and then the color towards me. That's to make sure both sides have the pretty color on it. So I'm just going to keep making pieces. Take it out and just make sure it goes in. Now you can be taping these as you go if you want to. You don't have to. Once I get to here, I'm going to feed this piece into this other piece, and this is where tape will come in handy so that you're not losing your spot, because otherwise this piece kind of flaps up. So I'm just going to tape this piece down, and there we go. Now I have two pieces of wall, and I'm going to do it again, putting the color side out and this side towards me, and folding. Now you can make this out of these paint chips. I really like making it out of these, but if you have an old deck of playing cards that your parents don't mind if you fold them, you can also make them out of those playing cards, okay? Dollar store tape does not like to be cut. Okay, now I'm going to put this piece right into here. And now I've got 3 parts of my wall. And I do it again. Okay. So I've got it folded like this. This piece just comes in like that. And then this piece comes over and in, but I'm going to tape it. Now you can do this so that you've got 4 walls, like I almost have here. So you could make a box like that, or I'm going to keep going and give it a few more walls. Okay. And we'll put you right there. Now when I get ready to close this basket up, I'm going to have to choose one of the sides to just take out so that I have another flap to connect it all together. Just to keep everything in place, I am going to add a small piece of tape to the inside of that one. Okay, So now I have the sides of my basket, and to make the bottoms of your basket, you just take the card, fold one side down, and I'm going to feed that into there. And then I can feed that side into here by folding it down. And I just keep doing that until I've got a really good base on my basket. Now the shape I've chosen to do is a little bit difficult. I should have added one more wall, but it will still work. Beautiful. Oops, last two. Now to make sure this doesn't just fall apart, I am going to add some tape on the bottom. You don't have to, but I'm going to add some just to keep it all together. Ooh, my good tape is at home. Okay, flip it over and we've got our basket. That is one way of making a basket with cards. The other way of making a basket I'm going to show you requires you to have a balloon, some white school glue, a little bit of water, a paintbrush, and a lot of these little pieces of cut up tissue paper. They've gone everywhere. So I'm going to mix some white school glue into my water to create just a more watery glue paste. The way that school glue is right now is a little too thick for what I want to do. So I'm just going to mix it with a little bit of water. There we go. All right, then I'm going to take a balloon and blow it up. You could have an adult do this for you. Actually, going to just make this small so that I make sure I have enough to cover it. Now I'm going to start by putting my white school glue water combination on the balloon about halfway, because I've chosen a little teeny blown up balloon. If you blow your balloon up more, you might want to cover it only a third of the way, okay? Now, I want to make sure the inside of my bowl has a different color than just all the little pieces. So I've actually cut bigger strips of this light pink, and I'm going to put those down first onto my balloon, just so that this can be the inside of my bowl. And I make sure also that way that I have everything covered at least once. Now, you'll see some of my paper is not covered in the glue mixture, so now I'm going to go back over that with my glue mixture. And this also lets me see right there, I've got a little hole. I need to add another piece of tissue paper right there, otherwise my bowl will not be complete. Once I have that base layer down, which you don't have to do, I just like I just like to. Then I'm going to start covering it in glue and adding these pieces of tissue paper. Now you can just roll it around on the plate if you want. You can pick and choose your colors and put them in specific spots if you want to do that. And you'll notice some of them won't stick very good, and that's just because your glue has started to dry out, so you'll just need to grab your paintbrush and paint some more glue onto it. You want to do this about 4 to 5 times so that it's really, really covered with the paper. That will make it stronger. So you want a really good layer of these paper pieces. So if you notice that there's holes somewhere, you might have to pick up a handful and make sure that it gets covered really well. Don't worry about making it too even at the top because you'll have an adult help you trim your bowl later anyway. So that's not a problem. Now, when I was cutting my pieces of paper, I did them all different sizes and different shapes. I did some triangles, I did some that were squares, just because I wanted it to look really mismatched and fun. If you start having a problem with the papers coming up onto your brush, add more glue and kind of just drip it down to make the paper stay. And then you can continue brushing it like normal, okay? You want to make sure everything is covered really, really well, otherwise it won't stay together. Once you think you have a really good base put together, you need to find a place to let this dry, and it could take several days to dry. But you want to make sure it's really, really dried before you do the next step, okay? So I think I need just a few more pieces on my balloon. So I'm going to cover it one more time. And that's just because I can see specific spots that I accidentally left out, and we don't want that. So we will cover it one more time. I used probably 3 to 4 sheets of this tissue paper. You can get this at the dollar store. And it's sticking to me. I'm going to be very decorated. Okay, I think that should be excellent. Okay, let's see. Now that I've got it on my last layer, I'm actually going to dump the glue over the top. If you decide to do that, you need an adult to help you and make sure that it stays on top of a plate so that you're not dumping glue everywhere. That just kind of helps make sure that I have a really good thick layer of glue on that last piece, on that last layer. Now this isn't the last time we're going to glue. Once this is all dry, we're actually going to pop the balloon and take off our bowl and glue the inside, okay? Because right now the inside doesn't have very much glue on it, so that's what we're going to do. And then you will trim it. Ooh. Okay. And this is the point where you can also just, I'm going to pick up a few more pieces of paper because I saw a spot that I need to cover. This is a really good time to do that and make sure it's all covered. Okay, now the tricky part of figuring out where to let this balloon dry. Well, I have a few ideas for that. What if okay, if I take a cup and have an adult do this next part, okay? Make a hole in the bottom of the cup that's fairly big, because what you'll want to do is actually pull the tied end of your balloon through the hole of the cup. So I might need to make my hole bigger. If you have a kitchen counter, you can also tape it up alongside the counter and let it hang down, but be sure to put something under it just in case the glue drops, okay? Okay, I'm just pulling that through, and see how now it sits? And we shouldn't have any sort of glue mess. All right, guys, if you want to post pictures of your final project, I would love that. You can do that on our website, and I will see you later.